what's up guys? Before I get started with the deck profile, I have two quick announcements. Every Sunday at CoreTCG at 12 o'clock, we have a tournament and we finally got the Halloween Vampire Staff and Glinda in. So these are actually the promos you'll get to win if you get top 4. You get to pick between one. And so it's really cool. These have been actually really popular. People have been wanting to pick these up a lot. We also sell them, but I like winning it instead because I feel like it's a lot more special. So I'll have the address for CoreTCG in the description. If you do come during the weekdays, make sure to come on the Sunday if you can too. I see a lot of players who come in and talk to me all throughout the week, but they're either a little nervous to come on the weekend for the tournament and don't think their deck might be any good or anything like that. But it's a free tournament, so you don't have to pay anything, and you might learn a lot. Everyone there's really helpful, and we're all really like all the players themselves are really prone to like help you with your deck and everything. So it doesn't hurt. It's literally free. You can win one of these if you get top 4. So why not? They look really great. And then we also have the Halloween Jam, but this is not for a win condition or anything. It's just win condition. I don't know what I'm saying, but this is actually just for sale. But I was mostly just showing it off because of the TopLoader thing. It's still going on, so if you spend $20 and you put this in the comment section of your purchase, you can also just like let me know in store, and I'll probably get you one if you just kind of mention it to me if you're making a purchase in store for your Perceval. So yeah, if you spend $20, just ask me about the TopLoader, or if you just put TopLoader in the comment section for either store pickup or shipping, if you purchase on the store, you can get one of these for yourself too. It's really nice, and it just kind of complements the cards a lot. Of course, the Jan doesn't come with, just clearing that up. I feel like somebody's gonna get confused, but anyway. The second announcement is that starting from next week, I'm no longer going to have daily videos for all 5 days of the week. I'm going to be switching my schedule to Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays with no filming on Tuesday or Thursday. I have been doing daily videos for a very long time now. It's very rare for me not to post daily unless something comes up. Or like yesterday where this deck profile didn't work out because I was on so much pain medication that I was just super out of it because my wisdom teeth are still absolutely killing me even now. I'm kind of just bearing through it, hoping to get to the dentist as soon as I can. But yeah, I'm going to be filming 3 times a week. There won't be any more deck profiles unless something specific happens. Maybe like a really great meta call or something happens after an event or something like that. But there won't be any more deck profiles till the new set drops. I actually have to ask you guys what you guys want to see, because other than story videos, I don't know what else you guys would be interested in. I cannot do matches because I just film extremely early in the morning, and I don't have any friends that can come, do this with me before I head off to work, and I don't film during the weekend, so there is no way I could do any matches. You guys can always check out DM073's channel for that. He does a ton of feature matches, and Perceval US does also, so I'm sorry I can't provide that one thing, but other than that, anything else, just let me know. The story video for SKL, I kind of brushed up on it, and it doesn't seem completed. It kind of seems more kind of like a Faria and Melgus story. To be honest, it's just kind of like a glimpse of where Alice comes in. So I might do a story on that. There's also some characters talked about that we never really have seen yet, and I might start doing discussion videos on who those characters might be and how they might influence the game in the future, so let me know if you'd be interested in that. Other than that, there's no other announcements going on or anything like that, so I'm just going to hop straight into the video. So Pricia is a very interesting ruler. On her ruler side, she J-activates for 2 green. You may pay the attribute of any 4 Sacred Beast Resonator with any attribute, and you can target a beast or 4 Sacred Beasts by paying 2 green to give it 100/100. The second effect, of course, where you can pay the attribute cost for any 4 Sacred Beasts, is what makes her exceptionally good. We've only seen that effect before in Grimm, so it's really crazy to see that on another card. On this side, she gains target attack if you control a light resonator, swiftness if you control a red one, flying if you control a water one, and 200/200 if you control a green. And then her god ability is to pay 3 green and X, and for every amount of X you pay, you can search a different name for Sacred Beast from your deck, put it in your hand, and then put it into the field. So essentially, if you wanted to do all 4 of them, you would have to pay 7. She normally, it's really hard to get up to that amount if you don't ramp, and I didn't want to go with the ramp route because I just felt as though it was going to be a little too slow for our current meta. I instead looked at Horn of the Sacred Beast, which I'll of course get into when I get to the spells, but it's normally her Regalia, and what it does is you can tap it to produce 1 will, and it's 1 colorless will, and that 1 colorless will can be spent to on any 4 Sacred Beasts. And so I figured the easiest way to be able to gain all their effects, because the deck is very combo based, is to dig out my horns as fast as possible, because you're going to need about 2 to actually use them to your max advantage. So before I get to any of the actual resonators and stuff for the actual magic stones, I have 1 magic stone of light vapors. This is because I have Cheshires and Percevals, and I didn't want to risk not having enough light or blue for them in the early turns. If I was to hit maybe 2 blue-greens, because it does have a lot of green in it as well, I would kind of be stuck with Percevals in my hand, and I don't want that because, once again, you want to dig out horns as fast as possible. I have 1 Magic Stone of Blasting Waves. This is so that if Pricia is to be destroyed and she goes to be an Astral Ruler, she loses her effect for the pay any attribute cost with any will, and I wanted at least 1 fire so that if I do have the Fire Resonator in my hand, I can still play it afterwards. 4 Magic Stone of Deep Wood. This is blue-green. Both of these colors thin very well in the current meta because of Cheshire and Familiar, and I wanted to get to those horns as quick as possible. And then 4 light green to further support Perceval, as well as I have Gwibers in here. I know I've been going with Gwiber, Cheshire, and Familiar and Percevals in a lot of my decks, but I truly think that it's a really good core to have this meta, and then just build around that as well. So, you know, you could do, for example, for Pricia right now, I have the 4 Sacred Beasts kind of hovering around, excuse me, hovering around that combo, and it's really nice to know that you can kind of have a very consistent lineup in your deck, but still have your specific ruler and specific playstyle for the deck. And this one, it's very combo oriented, so it only makes sense to use a lot of consistency to dig out those combo pieces. And Horn of the Sacred Beast just makes them all cost so less, so much less. I mean, so it's really important to note that if you really want to play Sacred Beast successfully, you're gonna want to use them as at low cost as you can, and you don't want to try to drop all these 2 to 3 drops on the field because that's most likely going to get countered. So if you can dig out these pieces and use them for low cost, at least within a couple turns or in 1 turn even, it's a lot more successful than trying to just play one and then the next turn play another one and then the next turn play another one and just kind of never really get their combos off, because the second you try to play the second one and they either Stoning or Thunder, you lose the effect of multiple 4 Sacred Beasts, so you don't want that to be happening. So for the Resonators, like I mentioned, I have my 4 Percevals to dig out my Horn and the Sacred Beast. There's also actually another Regalia in this deck that I'll get to later on, but mainly it's 4 Horn of the Sacred Beast. 4 Cheshire Cat, because the thinning this provides is amazing. You want to dig out either combo pieces for your other 4 Sacred Beasts that you're missing, or to dig out more horns or anything like that. 4 Familiar. This combos exceptionally well with Cheshire Cat. If you stack something like a Gwiber and then you drop this to add the Gwiber back to your hand, you can then play the Gwiber for 1, so it's just really, really strong. For the 4 Sacred Beasts, I have 2 of the Fire one, which has Swiftness, and on enter it does 200 damage for every 4 Sacred Beasts you control. That means it would do 200 counting itself as well. It checks for every 4 Sacred Beasts, and because it is 1, you get to do a free 200 damage. And with Horn of the Sacred Beast making this a 1 cost, that's actually extremely strong. The only reason I didn't play more of this is, of course, like I mentioned, if you get one of these early and you don't have the other combo pieces and you have a bunch of deck thinning and you're not really doing anything with it except for that initial 400 Swiftness and 200 damage, it's kind of not worth it. So I'd rather kind of use a low amount of the 4 Sacred Beasts so that after I'm done with thinning early game, I'm drawing into nothing but 4 Sacred Beasts and then getting their combos off quite frequently. 2 of the White Tiger. This one is a 6/6 with target attack. On enter, you get to heal 200 life for every 4 Sacred Beasts you control. Once again, it checks for itself. So on enter, you're always gaining at least 200, and it's just really, really powerful because 6/6 with target attack with the possible cost of just 1. If you get 2 horns and a Sacred Beast, is just extremely powerful. 2 of the Water Turtle. This one is actually also really great too, because it says on enter you get to bounce a card back to the player's hand. Depending, its cost has to be total to the number of 4 Sacred Beasts on the field. So if you play this all on just its own, you would bounce a level 1 back, which could be your own Percevals to keep thinning out of your deck. Once again, because he's total cost of 3, you can make it cost 2 less with 2 horns and play him for just 1. And then 2 of the Green Dragon. This one's really great as well. It's probably the best one because of its stats. Note that you can't use 2 horns on this one because it only has 1 colorless cost, so it's always going to cost the 2 green. But on enter, if you control another 4 Sacred Beasts, you get to draw a card. Make sure this is the only one you know that doesn't check for itself. If you play this on its own, you will not draw a card, whereas the other ones you will apply the effects. Why this one is also so great is because you can pay 1 for other Sacred Beasts you control to gain 2/2. That's all of them, which is extremely powerful. You can only do that ability once per turn, but it's still great because it makes their already relevant stats even bigger. And what I like about this one as well too is normally with combo decks, if you're not plussing enough, you aren't really catching up. So if you think about it, the white tiger is the only one that doesn't actually give you something immediately back, because life is more of a resource than something you can use as an argument for either minusing or plussing. But this one nets you a draw. The fire one takes away something from your opponent because it destroys one of their 200 defense monsters, and the turtle bounces either your card back to benefit from it again, or bounces their card back so they're losing a card on the field, so you kind of control the field board. So it's interesting to note that all of these cards have really great effects, and once again I'm only running 2 of each because I wanted to get to my horns and kind of set up my combos first, so that when I then play these cards it's a lot easier and a lot more cost effective. And then the easier you play these on the field for lower cost, the easier it is to kind of swarm with them if you get like one of even just like 2 or 3 of them. And then you can use the God ability to search out the ones you're missing, and it wouldn't cost as expensive because you'd be digging for less of them. Because remember, it's pay 3 green and X you can pay 2 to search 2 missing pieces. If you have 3 of them, you can search 1 missing piece. So I thought it'd be a lot better to kind of focus on that rather than just kind of hope for your combos to be in your hand and double or triple up on different 4 sacred beasts and hope that you can get the effects off. And then one Bedivere, because this is also searchable by Perceval, it removes from game actually a monster with 1,000 attack, and that's actually really great because Arthur, excuse me, my throat's been killing me too, so I'm getting sick on top of the whole wisdom tooth thing, but Bedivere removes from a game a monster with 1,000 attack, and it's really great because Arthur is 1,000 attack, and he would kind of be annoying to kill all your familiars and Cheshires and Percevals actually. So to be able to get rid of that card while getting a 7/7 on the board that also has target attack is just amazing. And then lastly, just the 3 Gwibers. Like I said, this card applies a ton of pressure on your opponent. It's really nice to know that if they have to waste their resources getting rid of these, which is of course what they're going to be doing because it's flying in 1200, so if they don't, they're in for some major damage. But if they waste their resources destroying this, they have less resources to answer to the current combo pieces you have trying to flood the board. So like normally if you play, let's say, the turtle for 1, and then you're attempting to play, the firebird for 1, and you're attempting to play the turtle the next turn, or the white tiger or something, and they thunder the bird, you now don't really benefit as much from the white tiger as you would if you had both. But if they're, using flame and thunder on this, or using the stoning on this, when you play those other cards, they're less likely to have the answer to it. So I think Gwiber not only is insane damage and really helps get some damage in, but he also just really helps waste resources so that you can get your combo pieces in. Lastly, for the spells, I have 4 Horn of the Sacred Beast. Like I said, this card lets you tap 1 to produce 1 colorless mana that can only be used for 4 Sacred Beasts. Note that you can't float this past recovery, so you can't use 1 to tap to produce 1, untap, and do it again. It phases out during recovery, so you have to have 2 of them in order to do it after recovery. That's why I actually spent so much deck thinning, so much focus on it, to get deck thinning, because I wanted 2 of these. It also lets you tap for your J-Ruler to gain 2/2, and if it's Pricia, it gets imperishable, which is really great too, because on the off chance that you do want to J-activate her and keep her alive, at least for a turn, so that your God ability doesn't cost too much, because normally if you pay 2 to J-activate and then attempt to use your God ability, it's going to cost like a total of 9 if you wanted to put all of them in the field. So you might want to, J-activate her 1 turn for 2, and then try to pay the God ability the turn after. And this helps her keep her alive because of the stat boost, and in a worst case scenario, if they are going to kill her, she'll at least gain imperishable, so you can at least attempt it again. For Glepnir, this is the second Regalia I was talking about. Because she already gains target attack, swiftness, and flying and everything, I didn't see any other Regalia fit. This one actually plays a really great role because forcing stuff to block is actually really powerful in this deck. Because your 4 Sacred Beasts have such relevant stats, and the Green Dragon can buff all of them up, you can make their biggest monster maybe like block your Cheshire and just attack with 0. Just have your Cheshire die because it's just going to get shuffled back anyway. And just attack, force them to block. It's now rested, and then you get all your other damage in. So it really helps them not be able to block your big monsters that are your 4 Sacred Beasts, while still kind of playing 2 roles, because not only are you getting damage in, but if they don't block the 4 Sacred Beasts, they're not trading off with them, which means they're lasting on the field. And if they're lasting off the field, you can of course plus off the combos as much, as well as this card adding a lot of consistency. If you control Glepnir on the field, you can discard another copy in your hand to draw a card, so it's just a lot more deck thinning. 1 Glimpse of Kaguya. Like I said in my Alice deck, this card is actually really good because a deck like Resonators would be really bad to play against this deck. Although you can shuffle their graveyard and kind of help control them like that, you never know how fast you're going to be able to mill, and if they get their God ability off on your field and discard your hand, there's almost no way you're going to come back, because you're most likely going to be kind of drawing into one combo piece at a time while they just have an established board already with their J ruler, and unless you can pay the 9 to J activate and put cards in the field, it's just going to be really, really hard to come back. 2 4C, in situations like that where your opponent might exhaust your resource, I want to have a way to come back, and I think 4C is a really good way to do that. Being able to draw 2, I think this card is just super underrated. Having to pay the 2 mana doesn't really mean anything when you can just come back so strongly. It's giving up essentially, you don't even have to give up the turn if it's late game, but if it's early game, you give up a little bit of time just to gain so much later on, and I think it's really, really underrated. And then 3 Xeex, of course, to cancel summons, because this is green, you want to be able to use it. It's also actually really nice because Sprint of the Beast Lady gives everything swiftness and whatnot, and I think it's 300, or is it 400, maybe 600, I don't know, it gives a bunch of attack, but in a worst scenario, I'd rather kind of use Xeex and get the plus 200 boost on everything and go in if I'm really going for that angle, while also having a card that cancels summons and shuffles graveyards and makes stuff untargetable. It just seems so much better to run this and really not care about the damage and just play accordingly. That way you're going to get the damage in anyway, instead of just trying to, like rush them down, and if it doesn't work, you're just kind of left with nothing. So I definitely like Xeex a lot more than Sprint of the Beast Lady. Not, of course, for the buff, but for everything else. I just think it's awesome that it provides the buff too. And then 2 Keen Sense. I don't have Griddle, so no point in Cake Zone. Keen Sense is just good to cancel spells, so it's really self-explanatory. For the side deck, I have 4 Maribels. I decided to run Maribel because it's really easily to search in this deck. Normally I mention how I don't like Maribel because I feel like it slows your deck down. In a deck where you're thinning so much, I don't find it to be such a problem. Also, I think it's really important because there's rulers that could really benefit from getting imperishable quite often. Something like maybe the very original Alice, who can just keep entering and doing 1,000 damage, drawing a card, gaining life, stuff like that. And stuff like Melgus and whatnot. And I think it's very important that you get to destroy the Regalias, because essentially J activating is just paying a cost, so you get kind of a free effect and a free plus off the effect, and you don't want them to continuously be able to do that because they're not really investing any resource into it. So if they keep J activating because they keep getting imperishable and you're kind of falling behind because you're actually using cards from your hand to respond to their cards while they're just continuously J activating and not actually using any cards, you're going to actually fall behind really quickly. So I figured Maribel would be a good way around that, because you can destroy the Regalias and then destroy them after, or on your turn or something, so that they don't have the imperishable anymore. 2 Glindas. The 4 Sacred Beasts have really relevant stats, and I want to be able to side out Gwibers if I have to, if I'm going against something like Susano. Something that has Rook Egg in the deck, and Bedivere can easily search it out, and then your Gwiber dies and they also start swinging for like 1200. So Glinda lets my other big Resonators get damage in, so it kind of makes it for not having the Gwibers flying, while still being safe against stuff like that, and being able to make their spells cost more. 1 Etna. I didn't want to main deck this because I think the 4 blue is enough, but I didn't know because I don't have Ram, so I just thought I just sided to be safe. But I think it's just a really powerful card this format too. 2 Dream of Juliet, because it protects my 4 Sacred Beasts and it works really good against decks that use fields. There's kind of a lot of people, I think, starting to use Realm of the Pure Spirits. I've actually been seeing that quite often now, and I want to have answers to it, at least in the side. 3 Savior of Splendor, because I do have the light for it. This really helps against the dark matchup because, like I said, Arthur's a really annoying card, and being able to pay 1 to just remove it from the game is absolutely amazing. And then 3 Return to Stories, because it removes a fairy tale from the game, and with Cinderella and Snow White being so big, as well as maybe a rogue Grim deck that has a Tell a Fairy Tale into a Hamlin, I think that's a very, very strong turn 3 play nowadays, because they could just rest your Gwiber and then start going in for damage while resting everything else. So I think this is really worth a spot if you have light too. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. This is of course going to be the last one, so don't forget that there won't be any deck profiles coming next week. Please make sure to comment what you guys would like to see either here or when I post this on Facebook. It would really mean a lot because I want to bring content that you guys want to watch. It makes it a lot of variety for me too, because doing deck profiles has been a little just overwhelming because I've been doing them so often. It's going to be a nice break to have from them, and I want to explore other things I can do as well. Like I said, the story video might just be a Faria and Melgus one because it isn't all of SKL just yet, but that one will be coming when it is ready. So I might just do the Faria and Melgus one next week too, but let me know what you guys want to see. If you guys do want to hear card discussions about kind of characters mentioned or stuff mentioned that might become things later on, kind of like, you know, if True Stones were in the story but we didn't have actually True Stones yet, discussing how True Stones might become a thing, and then if they do, might be exciting, and there is kind of stuff like that going on in the story right now. So if you guys want to hear discussions like that, let me know. Don't forget to go to the Sunday tournaments if you're in the area. I'm going to post the address in the description below, along with the deck list for this, so make sure to check that out as well. And I'll catch you guys next time.